Hey, everybody. Welcome to the We Talk Sports podcast. I am Corey Atanasoff, joined by co-hosts Gerald Mendoza and PJ Dolan. And we're going to start this off as we do pretty much every episode, and we're going to discuss Taco Bell's latest blunder. So, as we poured one out a couple episodes ago for the loss of the quesarito and the cheesy potato griller and many other lovable menu items, we are learning a new shocking revelation that they're getting rid of, on November 5th, they will be getting rid of their pulled chicken and pico de gallo.
And
another L.
Right, and on top of all that, they will also be getting rid of the Mexican pizza.
Terrible.
Gerald, I think you gave the best analysis on the pico situation. Why don't you go ahead and
I'll be honest, anybody who's seen this show before understands my relationship with Taco Bell is I can't use checkered, that's another restaurant. It's not very well founded.
Gerald has only rung the bell once, and he very much enjoyed ringing the bell.
That was it was pretty good, but but yeah, it was okay. Again, not gonna become my new regular spot, but it was pretty good, better than I expected. But when I heard that they were getting rid of the pico de gallo, that to me means that Taco Bell no longer has any integrity in terms of being considered a Mexican food restaurant. Because honestly, if you don't have pico de gallo on the menu, I don't even consider you Tex-Mex at this point. Like you have lost the respect of me considering you even trash Latin American food. Now you're just it doesn't make any sense because in Mexico, that's one of the bases of things that you put it on everything. You put it in tacos, you put it in burrito, you put it on rice, you put it on fried steak, grilled steak. You put it on everything. Tomatoes, that mix of tomatoes, onions, and cilantro and lemon. It goes with everything and pulls everything together. So the fact that they're getting rid of that is absolutely shocking to me. And like I said, it shows me that they have no intention of keeping themselves true to being a Mexican restaurant. So that's my take on the pico de gallo. At least I could care less about the Mexican pizza. I never tried it.
And one of the most delicious foods in the world is ceviche, and that's literally just pico de gallo and fish. That's what that is.
And shrimp.
And if you want the shrimp in there, however you do it, shrimp, rockfish, ceviche, anything, you can just do it. But that's its own food. You sit there and you just eat it, and it's it's pico, and they're going to be replacing any pico de gallo on items with diced tomatoes, which they already have. And if you order something supreme, it gets sour cream and tomatoes on it. But it's not the same. You need that cilantro on it.
You need that extra kick of acidity. It pulls
everything
together.
It makes everything better. But in the good news, not really good news, but they are adding on some remedies to their menu. They're going to introduce a dragon fruit freeze.
We sacrificed the loaded potato griller, the quesarito. All these great things were. First of all, I've had a dragon fruit an actual dragon fruit once in my life, and I wanted to blow my brains out on the screen.
It's disappointing.
So, a dragon fruit freeze
at least
for all this.
Passion fruit tastes better.
All that for a drop of dragon fruit freeze.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a reason Pepsi doesn't make dragon fruit Pepsi anymore. You remember that? You remember that?
No, I'm glad I don't remember that. I probably blocked it out of my memory.
I was about to say, wait, never mind. You don't drink Pepsi. You only drink Mountain Dew, Baja Blast,
and Dr. Pepper.
Fair enough.
23 flavors. The most enigmatic, before we get to sports, actually, is how they have a cherry Dr. Pepper when cherry is already a very distinct flavor in Dr. Pepper. So I don't know how they do it. But they will be adding in a Chipotle chicken melt to their menu, and then they are testing a what was it called? A quesalupa, which is a chalupa with pepper jack and mozzarella cheese inside of the crust of it. Which sounds really good. It's just going to be you're basically going to have a taco inside of a mozzarella stick, which sounds really good.
That sounds amazing.
But now, as this is the sports podcast, we are going to start talking about sports. So as we just heard about a half an hour ago, Naomi Osaka won her third major title at the U.S. Open today. So shout out to Naomi Osaka for being a winner.
Absolutely,
she doesn't know how to lose.
I mean, like I said, and you're going to dog me on this, but I will stand by this statement that I believe she's the up and coming new, who is to be the new dominant female tennis player of the world. I'll put some money down on that.
Put some money down on it. Do it.
I will. Like I'm being said, they're opening a sports book, I think, in Capital One Arena. Soon,
Yep. A cash betting spot in Capital One Arena.
Yeah.
In other note of tennis, earlier this week, Novak Djokovic was disqualified after he hit a ball that hit a line official. Any thoughts on that matter, Gerald or PJ?
She just looked like...
It's a Karen, bro.
Bro, literally, it's like in an anime or something when like someone gets impaled and they just stand there and they're just like shaking and like in total shock. Like that's what she looked like, and it was not that serious, dog. Like, just take it and move on.
I was about to say like being hit in the throat probably hurts bad, but then I remember you hit me in the throat one time in science class.
Hey man,
you remember that? I was look, hold on, real quick. I was yawning. And this man takes the side of his hand and just goes.
Bro, that was payback because you open necked me and I was seeing stars, man. Like I thought I was gonna die, so I was like, I'll get this man back.
This man hit me in the head, in the back of the neck with the spine of a textbook. What do you mean? Of course you were gonna see stars.
Dangerous.
Listen, me and Gerald were trading shots back in the day.
A very contentious relationship between the two of you. I now see. And Gerald, you made a note of Novak getting disqualified. And what is this, Mark? You said something about the big three being in the finals.
Right. This anybody who follows men's tennis knows that the big three are Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic. They're the three that are basically trading titles within the last really a decade. They've been dominating tennis for that long. And this is the first time in, I think, a decade that one of those three is not going to win the U.S. Open, and really first time in 8 years that one of them isn't going to win one of these majors, I believe. So this is like an opportunity for one of these new, or rather not even new, but one of these different tennis players to really make a name for themselves and stand out. If you remember back in 2012, I think it was Roger Federer lost in the final to Andy Murray, who was a hometown favorite in Wimbledon. So, you never know. Maybe this could make someone's career out of, be opportunistic and take advantage of a situation where the other big three aren't at their top form or circumstantially just aren't there to play. So, I mean, I'll be interested to see who wins.
Yeah, you could either see somebody come out of the woodwork and present themselves as a good challenger for the next couple years to come, or it will just be somebody who, place holds the title until Djokovic gets it back next year, or somebody comes out and does it. But all three of those guys are they're aged by this point, so it's looking like the new guard is going to have to step in and play some tennis. So it'll be exciting to see how that comes out too.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right. So also a lot has happened since we've been on this mini hiatus in the NBA bubble.
Oh yes.
So
give us your little.
I literally wrote down in my notes: the Bucks are out, the Heat are hot, and the West is a mess.
The Buck stops here. They're bounced.
The Buck stops here. The Buck stops here.
I need the disgruntled Giannis. Giannis to the Knicks 2021.
That is not gonna happen.
Giannis to the Bulls.
That's not. We'll get to that in a minute, but they're not gonna get Giannis to get another washed up old NBA player. Giannis is too young to go to the Knicks.
Hey, Carmelo or J.R. Smith was a young Nick. J.R. Smith could ball. Taking that pass from Pablo Prigioni and turning it into a
sir. Yes, sir. The GOAT. The GOAT.
Pablo Prigioni.
Speaking of
Priggy Smalls, baby.
We need to get him a fat head of Pablo Prigioni.
Yeah.
Dude, absolutely. Speaking of GOATs, a slight deviation, our dear friend Corey Frock forgot that a couple months ago, maybe even last year, he pre-ordered Bartolo Colon's book so that he could get an autographed Bartolo Colon poster and that came in the mail. So now he's the proud owner of a autographed Bartolo Colon poster.
Hey, that's good news. That's you can't get anything wrong from like.
And he totally forgot he did it. Imagine just surprisingly opening the mail
and having an autograph, significant, attractive.
Exactly.
Yeah,
large, attractive, big, sexy. He said he still wants to play a full season of baseball. At least one more.
He still can.
The only thing about getting rid of the designated hitter is that Bartolo Colon can't get piss missiles anymore.
Yeah, can the Yankees pick him up just so he can finally get the chance of that ring?
God, please, yes.
Like I think he's earned his way to a ring. He has.
I mean, Bartolo Colon, he might be the best pitcher who's ever played baseball.
Oh, of course.
I mean, what are you going to do, right?
I remember watching.
And he has a Cy Young.
That's true. That's true.
He's been playing since 1997.
Yeah, he's
a dog.
Yep. And he started when he was 24. And he has been playing for 21 seasons.
He's now 47 and still technically in his prime. Damn.
I don't know about in his prime, but
I mean, not in his prime. Hey, have you seen him play pool? Have you seen him shoot billiards?
Is he good at that? Is that his thing?
He made a trick shot, made the cue ball bounce into the middle of four balls, and even before everything dropped into the sockets, he put the cue in the middle and started walking away, and everything went in.
I'm watching this video right now.
Like, you want to turn down you sound like Univision right there in the background.
Univision.
Well,
in the NBA bubble, do we have any takeaways right now? You said that the Miami Heat just bounced the Bucks, and we have Game 5 of the Lakers Rockets semifinal, which is coming on tonight in 14 minutes. Lakers are up 3-1 in that. What are your takeaways from so far in the bubble? Who looks hot? Who looks not?
I still have, like I said, obviously the hottest team in the NBA right now are the Heat, and they're rolling. They really are. They're rolling through whoever's in front of them. I'm interested to see how far they can keep that going. In terms of the West, I still think, honestly, my hunch is still that the Lakers are going to keep on going. That it's going to be the Lakers that are going to make it to the Western. At the very least, they're going to make it to the Western Conference Finals, and I really do think they're going to make it to the finals.
Well, they would have to blow a 3-1 lead in order to not make it to the conference finals.
Well, we've seen that before by a team that wears yellow.
Yes, but a team that did not have LeBron James on it.
That is also very true. It was actually they were playing against a team that had LeBron on it.
Well, LeBron.
Yeah, Lakers are winning the West. The Clippers have blown like 4 30-point leads at this point in the playoffs. Like the Clippers just cannot hold on for the life of them.
Yeah, and they're up 3-2 against the Nuggets right now, and Jamal Murray is on one.
So we got Lakers in the finals, Lakers Heat finals, Lakers in 6.
The Heat could do it. They go up against the Celtics, but the Celtics have a squad.
No, how crazy that would be LeBron against the Heat in the finals.
Hey.
Yeah, and everybody who's like cheering for the Heat has the LeBron James jersey.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, hold on, what's going on here? Who am I really rooting for?
They're like, wait, crap, I need to switch. I need to buy a new jersey.
But right now, the Miami Heat have the GOAT, Bam Adebayo, on that team. And he is crazy, dude. He's the next Shaquille O'Neal. I'll tell you that.
Shaquille O'Neal. All right, then.
Bam Adebayo.
The real GOAT is Tyler Hero.
Oh, dude. 20 years old and just, wet with it. Every single thing. He doesn't know how to miss.
Yeah. Also in NBA news, there are rumors that the Knicks could make a significant move to try to acquire Chris Paul. BJ, your thoughts on that, just real quick on that idea.
Before you pull up the hypothetical trades, you just want my hot takes before we.
I want your hot take real quick, because your hot take in the tweet was that like 3 guarantees in life. What are they?
Death, taxes, and the Knicks trading for an elderly superstar.
All right.
The Knicks. Yeah. I mean, they do this all the time. I just don't like. Yeah, Chris Paul's been good in Oklahoma City, but Oklahoma City also had like an NBA team. Like we know, like you're gonna bring Chris Paul in,
and the to mention the Thunder are not bringing back Billy Donovan as their coach next season.
Right. So you bring in
the Knicks could bring in Billy Donovan.
I mean, it's not like the Knicks are going anywhere, so I guess you draft a point guard in the first round this year, or I don't know, man.
Frank Ntilikina is the future, dude. I think you bring in Chris Paul.
You have a
mentor. All right, mentors Frank.
All right, it's funny you say that because they have two scenarios on it, and I have the link is in the description for this specific article I'm referencing by SNY. I think they did a really good job of explaining everything in terms of the ramifications, the effects of what each trade scenario could be, and they have two main ones. And the first one is the Knicks trade Reggie Bullock and Frank Ntilikina for Chris Paul.
Can't trade Frank.
No picks, no.
Just straight up.
Hold on. It says, okay, in this, the first thing they show is cap ramifications. So in this scenario, we're assuming the cap is 115 million. That's the current projection. But as noted above, is subject to change. We're also assuming the Knicks absorb Paul into the cap space. So to do that, they would have to decline Bobby Portis's team option.
Good.
Renounce Mo Harkless's bird rights.
Boo-hoo.
They'd also waive Taj Gibson, Elfrid Payton,
Wayne
Ellington.
They're getting rid of. Wait. What I'm hearing is that they are waiving 5 players, trading away 2 just to get Chris Paul.
And
6-foot giant.
Yeah, in this scenario, they'd also keep Reggie Bullock beyond June 28th, the date by which his 2021 salary of $4.2 million becomes fully guaranteed. This trade would leave the Knicks with Dennis Smith Jr., Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, Kevin Knox, Alonzo Trier, Mitchell Robinson, Damian Dotson, Paul, and Iggy Brazdeikis.
Ignas Brazdeikis, bro.
The goat. Listen.
If you include salaries for the first 2 rounds, roughly $8 million combined, they would have roughly $107 million committed salary and $8 million in cap space. They would also have the room mid-level exception and veterans minimum exceptions. But the trade would see the Knicks give up their bird rights to Harkless, a $4 million trade exception, the non-tax player mid-level exception, and biannual exception or tax. New York could instead include Ellington, Gibson, Payton, and Paul in the trade and keep above exceptions, but Oklahoma City would have to guarantee all 3 players 20 to 21 salaries in the trade.
New York's biggest problem, and this has been forever New York's biggest problem, is they have 4 players that play power forward, and none of them can actually play basketball.
Yep.
So we're seeing that Taj Gibson. What's he doing?
My thing, the only untouchable on the Knicks roster is R.J. Barrett, and I want to say Mitchell Robinson.
Mitchell Robinson, but he's got trade value.
If we're going to package Mitchell, we could have packaged Mitchell Robinson for like Anthony Davis. What am I going to do? Not take Anthony Davis?
Right.
So, RJ and debatably Mitch. Everybody else can go. Everybody else is going.
See you, Kevin Knox.
I was about to say,
especially Kevin Knox.
Scenario number 2 would trade. They said Knicks trade Reggie Bullock and Kevin Knox for Paul.
Yes,
straight up. What's that? Yeah. Just make that happen.
Right. This.
I think PJ would like that trade to happen, even if it weren't Chris Paul and it were like Ryan Arcidiacono.
Dude, it could be
right.
Damn, Steve Adams, bro. Give me that man.
Yeah. Steven Adams, yeah.
This trade would leave the Knicks with Smith Jr., Randall, Barrett, Ntilikina, Trier, Robinson, Dotson, Paul.
Why don't we trade them?
Get rid of Julius Randle is the first thing.
Can we just trade them Julius Randle? Is that possible? Because
I'm thinking they're assuming
I'll trade him for cash considerations. Just anything.
I'd trade them for a box of cookies or a couple Starbursts.
For a half-eaten tuna salad sandwich.
Just get rid of that, man.
I would trade him for a new computer. Or what was it? Kyle Korver got traded for a printing machine. Kyle Korver legitimately got traded for a copying machine. So I don't see a reason why you guys can't trade him.
I would take years off of my lifespan if I knew that I would never once have to watch Julius Randle try to do a spin move in the post in a Knicks uniform ever again in my life.
Every time that he gets the ball in the low post, it's always that, and he tries it and he loses the ball, and it's like, thanks.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, you're bringing in. It's not like we're bringing in like Amari Stoudemire or whatever. Like, you bring in Chris Paul, one of the best point guards in league history, definitely a Hall of Famer. Have him mentor since you're drafting all these damn guards. Have him be a teacher for him for like 2 years, and then see you. And then, hopefully some sort of development goes on. But
oh my gosh,
one of the issues here with the Knicks is that Chris Paul has a very, very meaty contract, and so in order to get him,
we have cap space.
They got cap space. So Anthony Davis is also a free agent in this offseason because he has not signed an extension with the Los Angeles Lakers yet. But
do you really,
New York is not in win now mode.
Quick. Hold on.
New York is also not in rebuilding mode.
The Knicks are always in win now mode, and they have no business being in win now mode.
I was about to say no.
You're in win now and you're selling at the same time.
Yeah,
that's just about how that works.
Forever.
No. Real quick though, you said Anthony Davis is not signed. Do you really think he would, even if he wins something? Do you think he's going to leave? Like,
he's going to New York.
I don't think.
Anthony Davis and Giannis against Kevin Durant and Kyrie in the 2021 Eastern Conference Finals. Calling in now. Absolutely.
Kevin Durant and Kyrie would still win, right?
Absolutely not.
No.
What's Kevin Durant's old ass going to do?
All right. Real
Here's
quick.
the problem though: is if you have Giannis and AD on the same team, those guys are both Defensive Player of the Year caliber players, as we've seen. So I think they put anybody on clamps. That is as monstrous of a backcourt or a front court as you can get. Playing Giannis at the 4, AD or Giannis at the 3, AD at the 4, and Mitchell Robinson at the 5. You can just put 3 guys out there and you'll win the ball game.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
The only issue is range because Mitchell Robinson does not know how to shoot a basketball.
Y'all are going to get me in trouble. Y'all are going to get me hyped up about.
I'm trying to do it this year. We're doing the hypotheticals here, and real
it's
quick,
going to be the 2019 draft all over again.
We'll bring you back down to earth when we start talking about baseball again. But let's say the Knicks make that landmark and get Giannis and AD in the offseason. We would seriously have to consider the fact that the Knicks would not only make it to the playoffs, but make a considerable run to the Eastern Conference Finals and possibly win it, right? If the Knicks win the Eastern Conference
PJ's got Finals, Forever by Drake playing in his head right now. He's dreaming of something.
Here's what I'm proposing. And it's a proposal for us 3.
I'm listening.
Should the Knicks make it to the finals, should they win the Eastern Conference and make it to the finals, we are going to have to do something.
I will get Phil Jackson's head tattooed on my butt.
I'm not getting I'll tell you that. I'm not getting a tattoo.
The Knicks could lose all 4 finals games by 80 points. If the Knicks won the Eastern Conference, you best believe the entirety of my back is going to say Eastern Conference champions on it.
All right, and if they,
I would get a Frank Ntilikina tattoo if they
I'm gonna get a Knicks jersey tatted on my torso with the finals patch on my chest
with Pablo Prigioni.
Yeah, it's happening.
You get Frank Ntilikina.
We'll
Frank the GOAT.
We'll see if we can't live stream that if and when it happens.
Frank Ntilikina is a top 50 guard in the NBA right now.
We are also going to have to if the Knicks win the finals. Obviously, we already know that commitment that PJ's made.
Yeah,
we're going to be in the car filming.
I don't know about in the car. You guys can.
That's really dangerous.
You guys can dial me in on my one free phone call for the podcast.
Yeah, 15 minutes. Let's make a surprise appearance from PJ coming live from a Baltimore County jail in Towson, Maryland.
It's gonna be like when Bobby Shmurda rapped on that 6ix9ine song off a prison phone.
But this is all speculation, and the Knicks are likely to not come out with anything done in free agency.
We're just going to sign Julius Randle to a 10-year contract.
Supermax.
This is still the Knicks we're talking about. This is still a New York team. And
they're going to give Julius Randle a Supermax.
I can dream. Like, the only thing keeping me alive is, like, I saw the Cubs win a World Series. So like,
Anything can happen.
there's gods out there that are kind. Not necessarily my god,
Hey.
but there are ones that are kind.
Look, I will say I will have that same reaction when the Cardinals win the Super Bowl. All right.
They should have won that Super Bowl against the Steelers, bro.
If what's his name didn't have an extra long toe,
Yeah, which is still debatable, but
they
So
showed
as
it in the
Gerald
camera.
made a wonderful segue, and then we just kept talking over it.
Right, I know y'all are terrible at listening to me. But anyway, speaking of terrible New York teams, PJ, what is up with the Yankees, man?
same shit that happened last year, man. The entire team's getting hurt. Aroldis Chapman quite literally shitting himself. I mean, I just, it's whatever. We're still. They got the expanded playoffs. We're still in the playoffs, I think, right now.
God, maybe.
That's day to day at this point.
You guys were 2 losses away from falling behind the Orioles.
The Orioles finally figured out how to beat us after like a 25-game losing streak against the Yankees. The Orioles finally beat us, so that was a little demoralizing. But apparently Judge and Stanton are supposed to come back. They were hot as hell at the beginning of the season. Don't know if they're still going to be that hot.
But then again, it's the same story of every year. You guys win when they aren't hurt, but they're getting hurt all the time. And I mentioned this to you earlier. For all the talk that all the players say that the Yankees have a great analytics and sports health department in the clubhouse.
Oh, absolutely do not.
I know. All of their star players keep on getting hurt.
Frenchie.
I mean, DJ LeMahieu's still hitting leadoff home runs. So, first of all, we need to extend damn Tanaka and DJ because both their contracts are up. I think Chapman's is up too at the end of this year.
Maybe the Yankees are going to think about selling.
Yankees could look a lot different next year. I don't know how I feel.
I mean, you guys are run by the Steinbrenners, so.
I mean, we're going to come up with money, but
well, you always do.
Well, no salary cap in the MLB.
I know you're going to sell 50 billion hats around the world in 1 year because it's the Yankees.
But yeah, I mean, as far as this year, life happens. They can't be the best team in baseball every year, I guess.
Well,
We had a good run, but
I'll be honest, if I can make it, and I'll step out of the way as soon as I'm done because my team is absolutely terrible. But the Orioles, some of the players, like I said at the beginning of the season, they're showing me sparks of good baseball. And I like the fact that the kids are trying and that either A, that's going to be an asset to us as a development towards a better team in the future that we can have, or B, they're good enough to sell to get better pieces to make our team better. So this is a positive for me. I'm surprised the Orioles are doing as well as they are. When they lose, I'm just like, I think I'm numb to losing at this point. So any win is a win and a loss is just something I don't pay attention to. But yeah, so they're doing pretty good. And I think Ryan Mountcastle, who else is that? Man, I forgot. Y'all know I'm terrible at this. Y'all proved that one episode. You remember that?
Yeah, name 3 Orioles.
I'll tell you who was looking nice for the Yankees, though, was Debbie Garcia. We finally brought him up.
You know who the Yankees need to get out of their organization as soon as possible?
Who?
Is the worst catcher in baseball right now. Gary Sanchez needs to get up and go.
Well,
He is batting terribly.
I don't know.
Is he better or worse than Chris Davis?
Absolutely worse.
Yeah, you need to get rid of him.
He's batting like 89 or something like that right now.
You need
Listen,
to get rid of
it's all fun and games until we call up Jason
him. You
Dominguez.
need to get rid of him.
If he's worse than Chris Davis.
If he's worse than Chris Davis, he has no business being in the majors.
I'll tell you his
all
I'll tell
fun
you
and
his line
games
this
until
season.
we sign
He
Jason
is not.
Dominguez.
He is not teetering around the Mendoza line.
So
he is
this season,
well
he's
drowned
batting-
beyond it.
He's batting 125.
He's ass,
But
but he's Gary.
he has 14 hits this whole season.
I
And
mean, no-
half of them are home runs. But 14 hits.
I mean, that's been the story of his career.
he
Really,
is the Mendoza line.
since his like breakout rookie year. I mean, that's really been the story of his career. It really started like the postseason 2017. Ever since then, he just hasn't. He's just been ass. He'll hit a couple like important, like when he does decide to hit, it's like massively important, like franchise defining moment hit. But then what other than that,
that doesn't matter to me because it's like, look, if you're playing a game of pickup basketball and you're playing against this one guy who hasn't made a single basket all game, but he only makes the winning shot. I don't care if he made the winning shot. He only made that one shot, and you hate him.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think that.
No, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that.
The issue here is that Gary Sanchez has been, when he's hot, but it's not for long. And when he's cold, he is ice cold. Yeah. And so he sits around the season as a middling player. Right now, he has a negative half WAR this season. 14 hits this whole season. 14.
That's like one of my friends in school who said, never mind. You guys aren't going to get the reference. Never mind. Just forget me. Ignore it.
Gerald, you're on something tonight.
I was going to make a Broadway reference, but like you guys wouldn't know. So like just next.
Another to stay on the Yankees for a minute, a player who is looking excellent is Luke Voigt.
Oh yeah, the king.
He is going off. But I still don't think it's enough to get him anybody. I don't think that the AL MVP race is even close. I think it is going to the man with a plan, Michael Trout. He's unstoppable, man.
Listen, y'all are in for a reckoning when Jason Dominguez makes it to the majors. I'm just telling you, I called it right now. I've been called it for the last year. I'm telling you, once we call up Jason Dominguez, I'm
gonna let you know, PJ. I have found an active reason for me to cheer for the Yankees.
Oh, this should be good
development.
I know.
Look at Gerald switching sides.
No. It's just when it's convenient and when a certain player is on the mound. His name, I forget.
Interesting.
Gerald, name me 5 MLB players in the history of baseball. Can you do that?
A-Rod, Derek Jeter, Mike Trout, Clayton Kershaw, and
it's getting
Mike
hard for him.
Notice how most of those were Yankees.
Anyway,
Giambi. That's your 5th baseball player that comes to your mind.
I don't know why. Look, I just.
It would be like name 5 NBA players ever. Jonas Valanciunas. Mike Giambi. He has a brother who was better than him.
I know.
Come on.
I know. Anyway, okay. You guys have a pitcher. His name is Jonathan Loaiziga. Loaiziga.
Joey Lasagna.
Jonathan Loaiziga. He is from Nicaragua, which is my dad's country. So, knowing that, if he's on the mound, I don't care who he's pitching against, I will root for the Yankees in that moment.
Even if they're in the Orioles.
Even if it, look, yeah.
Nice to know Gerald's a devout lasagna fan.
The GOAT.
Hey, who doesn't like lasagna?
I've never heard of this man before in my life.
Who does not like lasagna?
I think everybody in the world should like lasagna.
Right. None of these people who don't like gluten.
Oh, I don't even know what gluten is, dude. I just eat
gluten. I made the most fire baked ziti before this show. Like,
I saw that. Like, I saw that. And you haven't made us any food.
Well, shameful. I'll tell you what. Once quarantine's over, you can pull up to the spot, make some baked ziti.
Just put some in an envelope and send it to me.
Corey, if that's the case, then I'm also going to make you guys my family recipe horchata. You remember that? You remember that from the picnics?
Yeah. We just once quarantine's over, we'll just have a potluck.
Yeah, we're gonna have a watch party, and we're gonna make Gerald drink alcohol.
Absolutely not.
Word.
I'm.
You heard it here first, folks.
No. And
we're getting Gerald hammered.
Unconfirmed reports, fake news. No. But I am going to show up with 5 pounds of rice. That's a snack pack for me.
And that's all for you.
That's all for
Not
me.
sharing.
I'm not sharing.
That's just a lunch. That's just a snack before lunch.
Exactly.
So we still have a league that we haven't talked at all about, and that is the NFL, because football's back.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
And right now, Clemson is beating Wake Forest 7-0 with 6 minutes left in the first.
Also, did you? Real quick, did you see the UTSA versus Texas State game? It ended in double overtime, 51-48 UTSA.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Imagine taking shots every time a point was scored that day.
Point? You would be dead.
I mean, every time a score was made.
Oh, yeah. Same thing applies.
Yeah, right?
That's
anyway.
The Chiefs played the Texans on Thursday, and the game went exactly how everybody thought it would go, with the Chiefs coming out on top 34-20.
I'll be honest, I thought the Texans were going to put at least a little bit more of a fight.
Well,
I didn't know
wrong.
DeAndre Hopkins being gone was going to do Deshaun Watson like that.
Right, exactly. No, hold on, real quick. The score was like 20-34, but that is not how close the game was.
Right. Well,
that's not reflective of the game.
Right, and neither of the quarterbacks played terribly. Deshaun Watson still went 20 of 32, throwing for over 250 yards with a pick and a touchdown to his name. And Patty Mahomes threw 24 of 32 with over 200 yards and 3 tutties.
I mean, yeah. So, props to everyone who has Patrick Mahomes on their fantasy teams.
God, Deshaun Watson, those were a productive 4 points.
4 points.
Look,
the PPR league, it really sucks, man.
No. Look, man, what is it? It's Deshaun Watson is a great quarterback, and
I think Deshaun Watson is a fine quarterback.
I think he's good. I think he's better than just good.
Well, you just went from great to good. You're walking back here. These are very different measurements.
Look, I think he's going to be a great quarterback.
Josh Allen is a great quarterback. Josh Rosen is not a good quarterback.
I think Deshaun Watson's going to finish the season being considered having great season, like possibly a Lamar Jackson style season.
That is a steaming bold prediction because he has no tools on his team.
It's just a hunch again, and you know how accurate those are. But anyway,
so what are your what are your predictions for A, the first week of football, and then B, for the entire football season?
Okay. So for the first week of football,
you think Dan Snyder is going to make it through the whole season as the owner of the football team?
God, I hope not. But I wouldn't be. I'm giving it a 50-50 chance. Like, I'm split down the middle, like in probability and everything. I'll be honest, and this is going to sound terrible. I'll be honest. I was working around the stadium. I drive around there a lot because there's a major road artery. You just drive around the stadium when they're not using it for a game. It's basically a giant traffic circle, which describes the Redskins pretty accurately. But anyway, there was one day where a section of the parking lot was blocked off by police, and they had a bunch of police cars, undercover police cars, and the SWAT team was there. And I'm just like, again, this is gonna sound terrible, but I really thought I guess Dan Snyder ended it all.
Jesus,
jeez,
I know.
It's like the guy. It's like the treasurer of Pennsylvania, 30 years ago, who called a press conference and then shot himself in the head.
Yeah, that was bad. But I was thinking, I'm like, maybe he just couldn't take it anymore, or didn't want to get caught or something. And I turned on the radio. He's like, first practice with the team at the stadium today. They have some of the roads closed. I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. But no, but honestly, I really don't know if Dan Snyder's going to last the whole season. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, and I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't, because I don't know what the league is going to do about him. I really don't, especially after the latest thing that they found out with the video, the cheerleader. And
I feel like if they were going to do anything about that, they would have done it by now, because that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that maybe more things will surface as the investigation goes on. But we know how the NFL is with dishing out sentences. They either actually mess it up they too harshly punish somebody for something, or they don't punish them at all. And we might see that second one come up for Dan Snyder. So back to it. Week 1, what do you guys think, if anything exciting, could happen? Who looks good, who looks bad, and who do you have taking it?
Oh, Um, 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 um. Hold on, let me see the rest of the league schedule real quick. But I actually am excited to see how Tom Brady plays. I
Oh
really
yeah,
am.
we all are.
Definitely.
So I want to see like is he on Sunday night? No,
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 the Bucks play in New Orleans at 4:30 tomorrow.
okay. Oh, that's gonna be good against Drew Brees.
That is
That's gonna
quite
be
a matchup, man.
That's it.
quite the matchup. And
With
okay.
Leonard Fournette.
With Leonard
Let me
Fournette,
just go down. Let me just.
who Leonard Fournette absolutely finessed the Jaguars by them releasing him, and if the team that picked him up paid him a certain salary, then the Jaguars would be clean of his cap space. But the Patriots are like, we don't have any money left, so we're going to give you a minimum deal. And he goes, word, and he signs a minimum deal, so he's still guaranteed money through the Jaguars and getting a minimum deal from Tampa. The Jaguars just showing again that they are not a good organization.
I was about to say, yeah, they're definitely going to lose to the Colts over the weekend.
Yep, dude, Phillip Rivers, he's coming in clutch. He's already got 13 kids, and he's going to have another one as soon as he sons the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He's having so many kids that even the Mormons are telling him to stop.
Phillip Rivers is the best. I love him. I hope that he can make a playoff run because he really deserves it for his career. He's been way too underrated, criminally underrated.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't had the tools around him. He hasn't had the organization to support him. I think this is a good move for him. And I think he's a very well suited, quarterback for the team, especially with the hole that was left by Andrew Luck.
Hole in my heart. That's what happened.
But the the Cleveland Browns against the Ravens. Ravens winning that one, obviously.
Odell's playing.
Yeah,
he's in some deep duty right now with
he's
the internet. There's a whole lot about Odell Beckham, but this is a family friendly show. So if you would like to hear about what Odell Beckham is wrapped up in, there is a no jumper interview with Adam22 with some random girl, and you can hear that, or just go on Twitter because the memes are everywhere.
Yeah, that oh my gosh. But
deep doo-doo.
Actually, I think the Browns-Ravens game is actually going to be closer than everyone expects. I think everyone's expecting Lamar Jackson to keep on rolling with the team and everything. I just think that they're going to get a little bit of a wake-up call. They're not going to lose, but a little bit of a wake-up call. The game's going to be a lot closer for comfort for the Ravens in that game. Who else? Let me see. The Seahawks are going to beat the Falcons. I know that much. The Patriots.
Dolphins-Patriots is going to be an interesting game.
I'm excited to see how Cam Newton plays, man.
Yep, I think it will be very interesting.
I'm interested to see how that system works for him. The Chargers and Bengals, I don't think you could. Why are they on at 4?
Right. Vegas, Carolina, I'm excited to see Teddy Two Gloves be the
Teddy Two Gloves, the bridge man. And then also we have a NFC East divisional matchup with the Eagles playing against the football team.
The Eagles I don't know what they were doing at practice this week, but their entire team got hurt. That might be a win for the football team.
I can't believe we have to say that now.
Even though Philly is favored by 5 points, even though they're away.
At least pick a name, like
they did. It's the football team.
Now, is the football team playing at the stadium, or are they playing?
They are. But I checked. They finally got rid of those damn colors at the edge. They finally made them red.
So with just a little sidebar about the football team in the new Madden, it goes like Eagles, Falcons, football team. Like when you're scrolling through your teams that you can play as and play now, it's the funniest thing in the world.
It's absolutely. It's
now
tremendously it fits what the team has done these last 5 years. It really does. They don't deserve to have a name. They really don't. And it should have been gone a while ago. But anyway.
The real Rager.
Oh my gosh. Whoever bought up those patents for the team name, Corey, I would like to buy him a beer. Because he deserves
for single-handedly driving the Washington football team into a laughing stock.
Absolutely. That man deserves DC. They should name the team after him at this point.
Just name it something weird like never mind, there already is a Lions. Damn.
A very forgettable franchise.
Probably the most forgettable. The Detroit Lions.
The Condors.
The Condors. How about like the
That's kinda
Owls?
hard.
It's kind of hard. I don't even know what a condor is. I don't know if it's a bird or a fish, but
It's a giant bird.
no,
The dodos.
close enough.
There
The
you go, yeah.
kiwis, and it's like, is it the fruit or the animal? Oh, we don't know.
We don't know.
It's just
I
the
mean-
kiwis. I can see it now. The Washington Gerals,
Oh yeah.
Absolutely not with that organization.
and it's
No.
just Gerald's face on all the merch.
Is they're gonna take the old Redskins logo and it's just
Yeah.
a Darryl side profile?
Wait, hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Right, just
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yep. I would get a shirt with that on it.
We should make that.
That would be our
Yeah,
first
that is-
piece. Our first piece
our
of
merch.
merch. Yeah, our first piece of merch, the Washington Gerals, and it's just your head.
I
your
have.
purple-
I was showing Corey. I have a projector screen, and basically, I can shine a bright light behind it, and we can make a silhouette.
Makes it the silhouette of your face. No, it's got to be detailed. We got to be able to see all the pockets on your face.
Jesus.
Anyway,
You know,
anyway,
got-
anyway.
like the indent.
Aside from that, we also have. I know we love stadiums. We have 2 new stadiums opening up this season.
Oh, we got Vegas, right?
Yeah, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, which looks incredible with the rolling field and everything. And we also have SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, the new home of the Rams and Chargers. And I still can't believe the Rams changed their logo.
It's so
and their
terrible.
uniforms.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Those were some of the worst team redesigns that I've ever seen in my life.
Well, their colorway just on a
and that's
regular
coming from a
jersey-
Washington football fan, real quick. Like
football
like,
team.
football team fan. Like that was a terrible.
Who's your favorite NFL team? Football team.
Which one? Yes.
Yeah.
It's just gosh. What was Stan Kroenke thinking?
The football team. That might be the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh, now for the NFL, it's going to be a long season. They aren't expanding the season out to 17 games yet. I believe that is taking place next season, but they will have the expanded playoffs, which mean that I believe 2 more teams on each side will be in the big show. So, what are your predictions for teams that we think will do really, really, really well?
Wait. How many wild card games is that then?
I think there's 4 wild card games, 2 in each conference.
Well, I think they took away the first round bye for the 2nd seed
Yep.
Right. Okay.
and just gave them the lowest wild card.
Makes sense.
So, what are your predictions for who we think will do surprisingly well?
I'll be honest. I'm gonna say the Colts are gonna make it into the playoffs.
We could try. We have an easy division. The only opponent really is the Texans.
Well, yeah, and
Well, the Titans were decent last season.
I was about to say, yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I'm not worried about the Titans. I'm not worried about the Titans at all.
That's fair. I think the Colts are going to get into the playoffs somehow. I think the Eagles are going to get into the playoffs.
They might. It's going to be a difficult division with the Cowboys looking in a pretty great shape. But everybody's always been saying for the last 5 years, this is the Cowboys' year.
This is what the same thing I said about the Reds every single time. Everyone's like, don't sleep on the Reds, the Cincinnati Reds. I'm like, every single time.
Joey Votto.
Yeah, you've seen the results. But anyway, also, quick digression. Sorry. Why is Skip Bayless still on TV?
Oh,
Dude, that was bad. No, that was pretty bad.
God.
That you know what the worst part is? You know what the worst part is? This is Suicide Prevention Month.
Right. And then, so for anybody who doesn't know, earlier this week, Skip Bayless got on his trash show, Undisputed, and was, well, I guess I should preface this. Earlier this week, also, Dak Prescott, quarterback for the Cowboys, came out in a bold interview and said that he had been seeking counseling and treatment for depression and anxiety since quarantine began. His brother killed himself earlier in the year, and so after that, he got into just a spell of just being like really depressed and everything. And so he went out in an interview to try to like shed light and be like, "Hey, like this happens." And then on Undisputed, Skip Bayless calls him weak and too weak to be the face of America's team. And he basically just rails on him for like 15 minutes just about how he's being a bitch. And it's like, okay, Skip, you know what? As Gerald said, this is Suicide Prevention Month. And Skip Bayless, not the right move. Not a good look. Bad for the brand.
Well, yeah. We've, PJ, you've hated Skip Bayless. And most of America has.
My disdain for Skip Bayless goes back to my wee years as a child.
And
Guilt.
like you said, it's something that is not to be made fun of. I think we've all encountered people who have been suicidal before and who have needed professional help and have needed a good support system. And it is a very serious issue that should not ever be taken lightly. And I commend Dak Prescott not only for going and seeking help that was appropriate for him, but also for being able to speak about it, which takes a lot of strength because of people like Skip Bayless, who will rail against him and call him weak for doing the right thing. But again, and it's just a general message, is that if you need help, help is available. Go ahead and get help, because anyone will say, I would rather hear about what you're going through and struggling with, even if it gives you a little bit of embarrassment for a couple minutes, instead of having to speak at your funeral. That's just the case. That's always been my thing. I always told my friends, if you ever need to talk to someone, I am on the call. Like, just dial me up, and we can talk through some things. And I have had to deal with people who have been going through spells of really intense down emotions and depressions and extended periods of loneliness and stuff like that. So, like, yeah, as soon as I heard what Skip Bayless did, like, honestly, I usually want to get rid of Skip Bayless, but he really does not deserve to be on TV anymore, in my opinion, after this, because that was an absolute disgrace, a disaster for the network, and really just incredibly ill-timed. It was the worst possible thing the worst possible way he could have responded to that situation with Dak Prescott.
Yeah, well, he's been known for making really, really terrible takes and kind of being the worst sports personality that we see on national television. But this is just different. Like, this is really harmful rhetoric, and this is like the reason why people don't open up and want to talk to other people, because of people like Skip Bayless who just come out there and just nail you for it. He put him on a cross and was like, "Oh, you're weak. You needed this, you needed that." I believe he said, "You're not strong enough to be the face of America's team after this." And it's like, okay, well, come on, take a step back, man. Skip Bayless also averaged 0.7 points in his high school basketball team. So Skip Bayless, not very good at anything.
I don't know. He got fired. No, he didn't get fired from ESPN, I don't think. I think
he just left. But
so back to the NFL takes. I am really, really high on the Buccaneers, as many people are. I think that they could actually make a very, very deep playoff run.
Who else is in their division
again? Saints, Oakland, and Carolina.
No, Saints, Falcons.
Oh, Falcons and Carolina, not Oakland. Yeah. So it's not a difficult division right now. Their only real opponent is the Saints. And I think that it's a 50-50 with any game with them, but we're going to have to see week one. I'm also really high on the Buffalo Bills. I think Josh Allen is a powerhouse. Also, the only football team that plays in New York. So
the Buffalo Bills, I got them sneaking into the playoffs. I
got them first seed, or not first seed, but I got them winning their division, because the Patriots are not the same Patriots they were. And Miami is terrible, and so is New Jersey.
Well, isn't Miami gonna? Who's the starter for Miami right now?
Tua
Is he gonna be the starter?
I guess
they just dropped Josh Rosen.
I know, but like, I thought Tua was still gonna be injured. Like, I don't know how fast he recovered or anything.
No, I think he's going to be good.
All right. Well, I'm interested to see how Tua plays against the Patriots, like how Bill Belichick decides to try to play some defense against them.
It'll be easy.
But there's always the wild card. What if Cam Newton comes in and starts lighting it up again? Like,
Right. Yep. Well, it would be surprising because Cam Newton's upside has not nearly matched his locker room downside for the Carolina Panthers in his last couple seasons with them. But maybe Bill Belichick can turn it around and get him back to, a top 5 quarterback form.
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Bill.
That's fair. Yeah.
Belichick has the same thing that Phil Jackson did. So
right. Sorry, real quick. One thing on a personal note about the Washington football team. I am thankful that Ron Rivera decided to make Dwayne Haskins the starter.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
Because I know there was still the question about whether they were going to go with Alex Smith and his, as you put it, his S-shaped leg.
It looks like a question mark.
Like, is this healed? I don't know. But no, yeah, I think it was the right decision because Dwayne Haskins was doing pretty okay with when he finally got the starting job the end of last season, and I think to continue that would be very important. I think Alex Smith is going to be a phenomenal person to have as backup and really as a mentor for Dwayne Haskins. But I think this is Dwayne Haskins' team now, and they're going to have to rely on him a lot, considering that they also just got rid of Adrian Peterson.
Oh. Yeah, and they don't have Darius Geis anymore.
Darius Juice.
The juice.
The Geis is lice.
The Geis is lice, baby. He's lice.
Oh, man.
All right. Any other topics to dish about before we get into our wrap-up segment?
New York Football Giants are obliterating the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football. Tune in.
Are you really sure about that? You want to put money down on that?
Are you sure about that?
I'm talking.
Right. Okay. Oh, real quick. College football. We touched on it a tiny bit. College football.
Yes.
Coming back. Part of it is coming back in somewhat of a full, let's say half swing. Florida State earlier played against the Georgia Tech, I believe it was.
Oklahoma is beating Missouri State 41-0, and it's not even halftime yet.
Oh.
It's
wow.
football. It's football season, baby.
It's college football.
41-0 with 3 minutes left in the second.
No, they should really start respecting their opponent and stop scoring.
29 runs, and people were just mad, about the Grand Slam. I was not a fan of the stolen bag.
Hey, real quick. Speaking of that, though, did you see that there was a Grand Slam when the Braves were up 29-25, and that's how they got up to 29 off of a Grand Slam?
Sheesh.
I didn't hear anybody clamoring about that one. That's all I'm going to say. All right.
Well, it's because it's not a sexy team. It's the Braves.
Does it matter? Should it?
And
matter
they're also hanging it over. They're also hanging it over Florida or Miami, but it's nobody cares about the Marlins. Derek Jeter bought the team just to send everybody away. The GOAT, Derek Jeter, helping the Yankees even after he retires.
The GOAT.
Now, by the way, how's A-Rod's deal with the Mets going? Like, is that going to happen or
no? The Mets sold to
a
Steve
different
Cohen.
Okay. But anyway, NCAA. Obviously, football's coming back in college football. We had all said, look, I understand the NFL coming back. I get that, and I think, okay, fine. When they say it, but college football is a different monster. It really is. And I think atmosphere is half of what makes college football great.
Yeah.
Think about 100,000 fans in a stadium.
Penn State whiteout. Nothing more beautiful.
Think about a Penn State whiteout or, 40,000 people on one side of a stadium, all locking arms and swaying back and forth while singing a fight song or something like that. It's part of the atmosphere. Like it's what I compare to like European soccer. Like if you've ever seen the fans and how crazy they get. But and that's not going to be the same this year. I don't know if anybody sent the memo to Florida State. They didn't have a sold out stadium. They didn't. They had I think about 1/3 capacity, but I'm not really sure. But there was not a lot of social distancing, if I could put it that way, and there definitely weren't masks for the most part. So I think that is an example of what people have been hesitant about when trying to let these schools open up and let fans into the stands to play for college football games. And like I said, you mentioned it earlier. This is an economy for not only these schools, but really the towns around them as well. Like would State College be named State College without Penn State in Florida? Like, think about College Park is one of the major cities in Maryland, and it's built because it's surrounding the University of Maryland campus, and it's like that all over the country. And I get that. And I get that their economy runs a lot on the sports. And I get that the biggest sport that makes the most money in the NCAA is college football. I get that. But like I mentioned earlier in a few podcasts ago, is that they're putting obviously the schools are putting these students at risk. And I think the Big Ten and the Pac-12, when they made their decisions not to play, was because I think they realized that they would end up losing more money anyway from what they make, or up against what they make through lawsuits if some of the players get sick and aren't protected correctly. So, I mean, all that to say, the Big Ten is gonna, I think, reconvene and take another vote to see if they're gonna have a late start season.
And this is happening tomorrow.
Yeah, Big Ten football. I told Corey as well. I like Big Ten football. I think they're arguably the best conference in college football right now. PJ, I think you like Rutgers, right?
Oh, nobody likes Rutgers.
Well, as a member of the University of Towson.
No, you're still in the Dragon Wagon, dude.
Dude.
As soon as you ride the Dragon Wagon, you never get off.
Dude, Dragon Wagon for life. I just bought an HCC sweatshirt the other day, actually.
Nice.
Anyway,
Dragon Wagon.
Not to divert off of the question Gerald asked, but you know how many dollars in fees? We pay more fees than tuition costs at Towson, right? You know how much they're refunding us after shutting down the school for Corona? $150. The athletic fee alone is $500. They are refunding us $150 out of the almost $3,000 of fees.
Look, it is unfortunate that that we called this. We called it in the air. We called it on the Politics podcast. We called it on here when we were talking about it. But we knew that Towson was going to shut down after they had taken everyone's money.
Yep.
And like,
it's daylight robbery, man. That's what it was.
But it's okay because the president took a 2% salary cut. So instead of making $1 million a year, she's now making like $980,000.
Yeah.
So
that's
there's great sacrifice going on.
Great sacrifice going on. This is you know what this is? This is another Renee Fu situation.
Man, like my girlfriend goes to UMBC, they refunded half of their fees.
Yep.
Which that's cool. I understand there's some shit you need just to keep the university like alive. Like I would like my degree to be worth something or like be able to finish it. Like that's cool. But
we need to pay light bills. I get that. Like paying light bills, paying the plumbing. Well, actually, you can cut that.
Like I would like computers at school. Like they take my money for that. But like if you're gonna cancel athletics, don't charge me $500.
Right. Exactly.
You're gonna charge me to use a gym I can't use.
Exactly. So, yeah. So again, we'll see how that goes. But going back to college football, Big Ten possibly starting late. And like I said, I like Big Ten football. I think, again, arguably one of the best conferences in college football right now. But I still don't think it's time for college football to come back in any capacity. It's
always time. It's always football time, man.
I can't.
The health risks are too much, though, considering that like NFL players are only playing football. That's it. But these kids, they have massive rosters and incredible, enormous staff on it, even like student staff, and they're going to classes and doing things. So that health risk is just too much.
Right, exactly. And they're also, when it comes to playing, that's not their decision. I mean, if they say you can play and you opt out, that's their decision. But really, they're going to be really pressured to try to play. I believe by these teams and by these departments, these athletic departments, because the school wants to make that money, but they don't have a union to protect them, to fight for more testing or to fight for their safety. They're not employees. Like, this is just, this is part of what got them into school, and I get that. And I get that they want to play because they have a passion for it. That's fine. But I just don't think it's safe. I don't think it's safe for them. I think the risks to their lives and their careers are too high, in terms of what they're going to get back out of it, or what the schools are going to get back out of it. So that's just my opinion. You can disagree wholeheartedly, but I don't know what I drank in that coffee, but it's making me stutter. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Like,
making you forget any MLB players ever.
No, that's not the coffee. That's just me being stupid.
Giambi.
But yeah, so we'll see. I'll be interested to see what the Big Ten does. I'll be interested to see how the college football season plays out. I don't know how different it's going to be, or how different it's going to look, but I still think it's not the right time for college football to come back. I don't think it's the right time. So I don't know what you guys think about it, though.
No, I mean, I'm in agreement with you there. I think that, as I was saying, it's not just a sport for them. They're also their academics. So having all these kids that need to balance like family stuff and classes and sports, it's just too much of a health risk in order to call it right now and just say, yeah, we're going to play all these games and have fans in attendance. And as you talked about with the legal fees, with anything of that involvement, it's a pain, and we were talking about this earlier. As much as it's a sport and everything, it's a business. They need to make their money. They need to make sure they swing a profit. And having no fans in attendance and having to, keep the lights on and everything, it doesn't bode well for any kind of revenue generation. So they might just end up calling the season before, especially if something kicks up. But we're just going to have to see how it plays out. And I will be listening with very, very attentive ears tomorrow after the Big Ten meets back.
Right. So I think that's just about everything we had. We did talk about the Taco Bell, right?
We absolutely talked about the Taco Bell.
Yeah. Me and my 5 pounds of rice. Yeah, I think aside from that, I mean, again, I'm happy that sports are finally coming back in a multi-level capacity, that we have more than just one sport at a time to talk about.
We've got 10 of them.
Yeah, we had 10 in one single day the other day. That was impressive.
Yep, it was on the 10th. It was the Sports Equinox, where we had 10 different American leagues playing sports, and it was NBA, NFL, MLS, WNBA, NHL, PGA Tour, NCAA football, the U.S. Open, Major League Baseball, and Ladies PGA Tour. So 10 different sports going on, or I guess 10 different leagues.
Just a little bit of what we need in these trying times.
These
trying
times.
Can I offer you an egg
in these trying times?
If I ever have to cosplay as a TV character, I'm gonna have to just do something by Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Well, he just plays himself and everything.
He's great, though.
And he's also only 5 inches taller than Peter Dinklage. So that's a little food for thought. All right, so we're going to move on to our final bit that we do every episode. This is the 14th episode, which means we will be taking the best players from various leagues at number 14 and say who we think is the best. I will take Major League Baseball today, as per usual.
I'm going to take the NFL, and we're going to give PJ the NBA spot.
All right, we got a Knicks player incoming.
Sir.
So I've got the all-time hits leader and still not in the Hall of Fame, Pete Rose. Excellent. And he got banned from betting that his team would win. So he has agreed never to be in the Hall of Fame. I think that they need to put him in the Hall of Fame because he was a very, 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 very great baseball player. And I think that they might just do the scummy thing and just posthumously induct him after he passes away. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised when they celebrated him during the All-Century MLB team
Oh, yeah.
and pulled him out for that. But like, still, like, it's like a fake honorific thing that the NFL would try to pull now. But yeah. But anyway, so speaking of the NFL, the best player in NFL history to wear number 14, Otto Graham, from 1952 to 1956, he wore number 14. In that time, the Browns played the team he played with, the Browns. They played in 10 straight title games and won 4 AAFC and 3 NFL championships under Graham, and he finished with 5 career Pro Bowl appearances and 7 All-Pro awards.
We're not going with Y.A. Tittle, Giants legend.
Y.A. Tittle, baby.
He was second on the list. He was second on the list.
Fair enough.
So I'll give him second on the list.
Well, number 1 on my list is Anthony Mason of the New York Knicks. R.I.P. Mace.
Yeah, the best player ever to wear number 14.
Set the tone.
It's like last time when you were like James Harden, the best player to wear number 13.
Yeah.
Like,
Nah,
you totally forgot Will.
I just couldn't think of a Knicks player, but Anthony Mason, the GOAT, set the tone for that 90s basketball.
God damn, dude.
We love Anthony Mason in this house.
Yeah. Shout out,
great,
Hito.
great. That's great. How many rings did he get?
Hey, listen.
It's not all that.
The best haircut, the best hair game in NBA history for sure.
Dennis Rodman.
He got the Knicks logo cut into the side of his head.
Jeremy Lin with the cornrows is still a top 10.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my goodness.
Or Tyler Hero with the braids. That was fresh.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got all of our top 3s in. If you guys have any differing opinions, let us know in the comments. But that's going to do it for tonight's show. I've been Corey.
See you, Jeff.
And Gerald.
And we will see you again next week.
All right. See you guys later.